We have two major developments out of Ukraine to tell you about today. Developments intended to defuse a political crisis that has engulfed the country for more than 9 weeks now and has claimed several lives. The first big play came from the Prime Minister, who has now resigned. Parliament has also voted to abolish anti-protest laws passed only this month. So let's get the very latest now from GRN reporter Gulliver Cragg, and he joins me on the phone from the Parliament in Kiev. So Gulliver, first of all, fill us in on what happened there today, please.
Well, the morning session of Parliament was devoted to repealing these controversial anti-protest laws, and I think that is probably the more important that the government has made today, because this protest movement in Ukraine had fizzled out, or hadn't fizzled out, but it had certainly diminished in intensity a deal during the Christmas period, and then it was suddenly reignited again after these laws were passed on the 16th of January, because Ukrainians started to think that this government is trying to introduce a dictatorship. They were incredibly vaguely worded laws that, in the words of one human rights lawyer, told me basically gave the government to arrest anyone they wanted for any reason that they wanted. So people were absolutely up in arms about the passing of these laws, and it's after that that the violence broke out. So certainly repealing them is a major step, but it was one that was done very, very calmly and with the consent of almost all the members of the ruling party, who had so little time ago voted for the introduction of these laws. So the ruling party, the Party of Regions, is acting according to a plan. So it doesn't seem like a party that's been destabilized or that is splintering or anything like that. And of course, the second important announcement today, chronologically it came before the repealing of the laws, was the resignation of the Prime Minister, Mykola Azarov. But I think it's actually less significant than it might seem. It does mean the whole government theoretically has to resign, but really what matters is who will replace them. That's where we'll really see whether Viktor Yanukovych, the Ukrainian president, is willing to make serious concessions to the opposition, because Azarov was somebody whose resignation was kind of considered imminent for a long time anyway. He's not particularly close ally of the president. He's not somebody who was thought to have a lot of real power on a personal level. So he's quite as important a figure as he might seem.
So, Gulliver, I guess the question is, will this move then be enough to quell some of the street protests we've seen? And talk to us a bit about what is happening at Parliament right now.
Right now, Parliament is just reconvening after a long break for an afternoon session in which they're due to discuss an amnesty law for the people who've been arrested, I'm sorry for the noise around me, in conjunction with the protests in recent weeks. There are a lot of people, and not only supporters of the opposition, who believe that innocent people have been arrested, but when the president announced that he would passed this amnesty law yesterday, the conditions set were very, very harsh. It was basically only going to take effect once all the demonstrations are over. That seems to be completely unrealistic. The law basically would have no teeth if it wasn't going to take effect until every last demonstrator had stopped occupying any street or any building in Ukraine. And so what's going to be interesting to see whether or not they've managed to come up with an amnesty law that would actually be conditioned.
All right, Gulliver, we will let you get back because I know you're watching developments right there at Parliament. Thank you for this. GRN reporter Gulliver Cragg speaking to us from Kiev.